Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mark Lambert of the Theta's Pendulum Trading Group, and I'm partnered with Anthony Marino. And I just want to take a look at the S&P 500 and drill down the Elliott wave structure that I've been looking at now for quite some time, and kind of give you a little heads up that I believe that we are nearing a top. We have a top already. But as we look at the structure, I do think that we do have a little bit more upside to go, but I believe we are in a terminal wave at this point in time. So we're going to get right down to it. We'll start off with the largest structure of the S&P 500, which is what I've been looking at now for quite some time. I believe from 2000 to the, I believe it's October of 2000 to the March of 2009 low, has been a large expanded flat pattern, topping the B wave back in October of 2007. And since then, the expanded flat finished in March of 2009. That follows a 3-3-5 wave sequence pattern, which it fit quite nicely. And its bottom was very, very predictable too, just by using Fibonacci expansion. So when we take a look at wave 1 and we measure it and project it down to the orthodox end of wave 4, which is right here, you can see we ended just within a few points of the 61.8 Fibonacci projection. So that's just one of those things that we do, and we like to move. We like to project that wave 1 and see where it ends just from where it is by superimposing it onto wave 2. But when we don't have good hits, we always want to check also where the wave 4 ended, and to kind of see where that's going. Now I want to clarify a little bit what I'm looking at in the short-term picture right here. A lot of people have labeled this as an ABC structure, and I've seen that quite a few times. I just don't understand how they come up with that other than twisting the Elliott wave principle around. I think if you just look at the principle and use it for what it is, and not have a bias, you should be able to come up with a pretty valid count. I believe this count right now, we've done a 5-wave sequence up to this high to form wave 1, which is a simple 5-wave sequence. Did an ABC pullback, and that pullback, since then, I can't call this wave W at this point in time, just because the fact is this structure would not be an X wave. But we formed a 13-wave structure moving up to this high, which was just prior to the flash crash. And a 13-wave structure, by all means, is always considered an impulsive structure. Had it ended with an 11-wave structure or a 7, then I would have to look at something else at that point in time, and maybe consider that to be a different type of complex structure. And also, when you look at it, a 7-wave structure is also considered a full corrective structure. So we can't call this a WXY and then this another X, and then now we're in wave Z, because an X wave has to be a 3-wave pullback. This was a complex correction leading down to wave 4. It had 7 very easily identifiable waves. And from there, we've done an impulsive, since I believe this is the July 2010 low, we've done an impulsive leading diagonal, a perfect 1-to-1 ratio ABC pullback, and since then I believe we've topped off into wave 3. I'm going to get right down to what I think the final structures are looking at right now. Actually, let me back up just a little bit here, because I'm moving a little bit faster than I should. I believe so far now, this is wave 3, which had all the ability to be a wave 3, and I'll show you why. This is a 261 Fibonacci projection of this wave. At the same time, within a few hours, it was a 161.8 Fibonacci time projection also landed on there. And since then, we've done a 3-wave pullback. Then we've done another 3 waves up. So, could we be forming a triangle? I would say yes, we possibly can. But if we are forming a triangle, we have to top by tomorrow, and we're going to have to start pulling back, and we're going to have to pull back to maybe like this trend channel once more, and then have a final up move. There is a strong possibility that this was a top today, or probably tomorrow morning also. If not, we're still looking for a pullback, and I'll show you more in a couple moments. But anyways, I have labeled this as an ABC W. This is an X wave, another ABC structure. This would be Y, which I believe is finishing the 4th subwave inside of a larger 5th degree wave. I'm going to go down right to the internal structure. I'm looking at this. This is that last ABC, which ended with Y and wave 4. Since then, we've moved up in a larger wave 1. Wave 2 is now done. And these are the substructures of the third wave. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. And there's a strong possibility that wave 5 is done. I mean, it could go a little bit into tomorrow, but there is a strong possibility that this wave 5 is done, which would top wave 3. At which point in time, we have all the latitude to come back and retest this wave 1. We support before then, and the next up move is going to be a terminal move to a new high. I'm looking for a new high. It doesn't necessarily have to. If all the subwaves are in, could be a truncated fifth. So anyways, that's kind of like what I'm looking at now. I'm going to show some of the nuances of how I pull some of the Fibonacci projections on something like this. This is the last wave that we were just looking at right here, but I'm just using a different software, which is another reason why I'm thinking that this is also topping today, or if not tomorrow. This could be the top as it is right now. When we do a Fibonacci projection on this first wave, inside of wave 3, today we topped at a 423.6. And I believe this Fibonacci projection has been validated by reversing off the 200 to 161.8. And during the daytime, I've actually observed this as it was moving. We'd normally stop and almost like validate the fib by stopping at it, pulling back, and until finally driving through, which is telling me this is probably the sequence that it's following. So with this said, I mean, there's a strong possibility that today on July 7th, we put a top. July 8th is a possibility that we do move a little higher, just as to keep everybody aware that you should be keeping your stops tight. I'm going to get rid of this picture right here. I'm going to move this down to a larger daily time frame. Let's go 3 years in the dailies. This is the whole structure that we just looked at, but what I want to concentrate on right now is this structure, and just show you how I pull time Fibonacci extensions on these. We were able to pick this top to the day actually within a few hours, and I'll show you why, just by using timing and timing alone. Connecting these Fibonacci time projections, as you can see, we topped on a 161.8 Fibonacci time projection. That timing projection came within like 3 hours of the top. It also came to within a couple hours of this bottom. And now as it is today, we're on a 400% Fibonacci. It's actually not a Fibonacci projection. I will call this a harmonic projection. We're at a 400% harmonic projection today. And this 400 does come up quite often. I'm probably going to get into that a little bit more on another video that I'm going to do on the euro after this. But when you look at these tops, as you can see, if you're also pulling the Fibonacci projections, you find a lot of importance. It's always placed on this very first wave, which seems to measure the whole move. 261.8 fib right here. At the same time, a 161.8 Fibonacci time projection. You can see that the market used it as support and resistance as it was moving up. So, with all that said, I kind of told you where I think we are. I believe we will be pulling back in the next day or so. And if that's the case, there's still a latitude of this being a triangle. A triangle would be three waves, so that would be A, B, another 3 waves, C. If this ends here and starts to pull back, that would be 3 waves again. That could be wave D, and then we should pull back to wave E, and then a final thrust upwards. And that final thrust upwards should happen quickly. Most thrusts upwards out of a triangle are usually a sharp and quick, so it could last only a couple days. And that should be a terminal wave high. That's where you want to really drill down on the hourlies and see if you can count the waves from all the way here. You want to try to time or price the top of the market. That would be a good way of doing it. And of course, never take a trade without confirmation, especially if you're dealing with the hourlies and you're looking to do a larger swing trade. You might want to see the market pull back down and then pull back up to a lower high, and that would be a safe trade to think at that point, because you know you're wrong if it reaches a previous high. So with that said, I hope this was useful to you, and wish everybody Godspeed and good trading, and just keep your heads up over the next few days because I do believe that we are starting to get to the point where it's happening. Have a great day, everybody.